the Phenomenal Hughes community. Are you ready to become a bankable CEO? Well, join us on the pathway to prosperity. I'm Ashley Scott, your host of Mocha Money Monday. Good morning, and welcome to another Mocha Money Monday. I'm your host, Ashley Scott, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing Miss Reneika Lightbourne. She is an amazing professional in the financial services space, specializing in IRAs. I mean, she is certified, okay? So I'm really excited to share with you ladies and all of you listeners all of the things that Miss Reneika Lightbourne is doing in this space and how she's going to help our audience today to really talk about how to use these IRAs, how to begin to invest in alternative investments, and all the good things that we're talking about when it comes to getting to the bag, because that's what Mocha Money Monday is all about. So Miss Reneika Lightbourne, I want you to just share a little bit more about who you are with our audience today, and thank you again for being here.
Happy Monday. Oh, first and foremost, let me say thank you so much, Ashley, for inviting me to Mocha Money Mondays. I'm just truly honored to join you today, especially as we celebrate the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So happy MLK Day. I'm excited to just have a conversation about everything related to self-directed IRAs and how it empowers individuals to take control of their retirement funds. Just a little background on me. I work with Advanta IRA. I'm a certified IRA service professional. I advocate for self-direction, both personally and professionally. And again, just, knowledge sharing with everyone about this is a tool that you can have and you should have in your toolbox just to build generational wealth. We know that Dr. King, as we honor him, it's important to remember that in addition to civil rights, his dream was also about economic empowerment, and self-direction give you that ability to take control of your financial future.
Absolutely. So let's get into that, right? When we think about economic rights and we think about some of the tools and strategies that people have, people land along all ends of the spectrum, from high net worth individuals to those of us who are just kind of in the everyday fray, trying to get to the next level, get into that, 6-7 figure income. But when you are someone who's worked hard all of your life, what are some of the strategies that you would take when you're ready to make that first initial investment? I've always heard that the self-directed IRA, the 401k, and the IRAs are the way to go. Can you just start there with some headway as to what we should be thinking about when we start to prepare for our future?
Yeah, absolutely. I get the privilege of talking to everyday Americans. I tell them whether you start with, little money, some money, or, a lot more money, no one's going to be a better steward of your finances than you are. Yes, you can have the wealth advisors, you can have the financial advisors, but it's your money. You should be an active participant in that. So I tell you to start wherever you are, wherever you feel comfortable. Obviously, if you're working a 9 to 5 and you have the ability to participate in your employer's 401k plan, absolutely you want to do that. But also too, you have the ability to contribute to an IRA as an individual. So IRAs are individual retirement arrangements, individual retirement accounts. So you want to just maximize as much as you can put in, because again, you want to actively be involved in building, not raising capital, but saving for retirement. So I just tell you, wherever you are, you want to get educated, you want to be knowledgeable. So you want to, think about your vision. What is your vision? And then plan. Part of that planning process is having the conversations, being introduced to concepts like self-direction. You don't have to be the experts. That's where we come in. You can ask us all the questions just to help you make that informed decision. But I just say start wherever you are.
I love that point. A lot of us are very interested in real estate in our particular audience. I have been a real estate agent for some years now, and we are all about helping women to get into the development side of real estate. So if you are someone who might not be ready to start, building commercial buildings, you're not ready to necessarily start flipping houses, how can your IRA help you invest in real estate?
That's a great question. With self-direction, essentially, it's you have a blank canvas. The great thing is you're in control. You get to decide what you want to invest in. Most of our clients do invest in real estate. Most self-direction clients in general prefer real estate, and that's pretty broad. If you're just starting out, you don't have to be the fix and flipper or the expert. What you can do is essentially have your IRA be the bank where you're lending money. You do have to make sure you do your due diligence. You want to dot your I, cross your T's, make sure you're comfortable with the investment that you're investing or who you're investing with. But essentially, you can be working your regular job 9 to 5, but you find maybe a syndicate is raising money to buy an apartment complex, and you want to participate in that. You can put some of your funds towards that. So you get to really diversify outside of the traditional stocks and bonds.
So I want to dig a little deeper into those areas of opportunity, right? So, like, what are some of the top four ways that you can invest in real estate with an IRA when we start
So
thinking about that?
real estate investing can mean many things for many different investors. It depends on, like you mentioned, you could be interested in doing a rental property. You can certainly invest in, Airbnbs or short-term rentals. You can invest in tax liens or tax deeds. You can invest in an apartment complex. So you can pool your funds and do a larger deal, like a commercial deal or an apartment. You can do the regular fix and flip. You can do wholesaling. You can do private lending. There's so many different things. Pretty much I tell clients, again, we've all heard the adage, your network equals your net worth. Well, self-direction give you the ability to obviously not only invest in what you know, but also whom you know. So you can go ahead and pool funds and invest in whatever real estate area that you're interested in. So if you have an interest in fixing and flipping, or you have history of doing fixing and flipping projects, why not leverage that skill set and replicate that same strategy in your IRA?
So, Miss Lightbourne, tell me this. What are some of the rules and some of the account choices, some of the tax benefits? I know that there's so many different ways we could go with this, but I really want to dive a little deeper in this real estate area around how we can really use our IRAs to invest in real estate and what the rules are around those and how we really kind of fundamentally get started.
Yeah, so there's some rules to be mindful of. Again, we're the expert in that, so you don't have to remember everything. The
Okay.
three key takeaways I want people to remember is any IRA or former employer plan, like an old 401k, qualifies to be self-directed. Two, you get to choose what is it that you want to invest in. So if it's real estate, absolutely. And then just knowing that all of the income that's generated from that investment flows back into your retirement account, tax-free or tax-deferred, depending on the type of account that you have. So let's just say you're doing fix and flipping personally outside of the retirement account. Once you sell that property, you're subject to capital gains. Whereas if you were to do that same investment inside of your IRA, inside of a tax sheltered account, whether it's a 401k or some other type of IRA, then those gains flow back into your retirement account. If it's a traditional, meaning you're getting the tax break, you'll pay taxes later, you're not subject to capital gains. If it's a Roth IRA, again, those profits, those flow back into your Roth IRA, and you're not paying taxes on that. Obviously, with the Roth, it's as long as you've held that account for 5 years, you're 59 and a half. When you take those distributions, it's tax free. So the benefit of investing using retirement account is you're not subject to the capital gains tax, like if you were to just do it outside of the account. Obviously, one of the questions I typically get is, well, when you make an investment, the money flows back into the IRA. One of the questions is, well, I need to live today. I need to, access those. I need to be able to, live and survive and so forth. Well, I tell clients if, maybe you do a couple deals a year, you do one deal personally where you're, fixing and flipping to generate income for yourself, but maybe the second or third deal, you do it inside of the IRA because you want to be able to actively grow your retirement account while you're in your most productive working years.
That makes so much sense, Miss Lightbourne. So, excuse me, I want to dive even more deeper because that's what we do. We dive in as deep as we can to
Yep,
get to the
peel back the
bag.
layers.
You have such a wealth of knowledge, right? So ultimately, when you think back over your career, what are some of the things that people should be thinking about to like not make any mistakes, right? Because there's always some kind of mistakes that people make, especially when people get into the weeds of, trying to do things themselves. They become a YouTuber, a university, and they think they understand how they can do their own self-directed IRA self stuff because it's called self-directed. So what are some of the mistakes that you could help some of our audience members potentially avoid, or some pitfalls when they're thinking about really getting into using their self-directed IRA to invest in real estate and even other alternative assets?
Yeah, so there are some things to be mindful of. With the IRS, it's essentially there's two investments, well, three, but you cannot use IRA funds to invest in life insurance and collectibles. Collectibles being anything like antique art, wine, stamps, anything of that nature.
Okay.
The other restriction, and this is the major restriction where we typically get most of our questions, is who is the IRA not allowed to transact with? So you have to be mindful that any investment that you do in the IRA is for investment purposes, but your IRA is not allowed to transact with yourself as the account owner, your spouse, any lineal ascendants or descendants. So think of it, parents, grandparents, children, grandchildren, any spouses or children of your grandchildren. So just think the IRA is not allowed to be on the opposite side of the table of certain persons. So for example, if you own 123 Main Street today, you cannot sell it to your IRA. That's, think buy or sell or borrow or lender, or you can't take money from your IRA and lend it to your spouse or lend it to mom and dad. Or if let's just say your IRA bought a beach condo and it's vacant for a couple days out of the year, you can't stay in that. You own it, you control your retirement account, yes, but your IRA, you have to think of it as its own separate person, its own separate entity. It's for later, it's for when you retire. So the IRS don't want you to personally benefit from it today. So just be mindful. The IRA is not able to transact with certain persons, and certain persons just lineal ascendants, descendants. So opposite sides of the table is the easiest way. I tell clients, think of it like this. If you drive in a car and the light says red, you stop. If it says green, you go. You can drive from East Coast to West Coast. You can take as many different roads to get there, but there's some, a few driving rules you have to adhere to. Same thing with self-direction. There's a few things you have to be mindful in terms of prohibited transactions, transacting with certain persons. You can partner with yourself. You can partner with your spouse, meaning you're both sitting on the same side of the table. So let's just say 123 Main Street is available and you want to partner with your spouse to buy that. Your IRA put an X amount of dollars and your spouse put an X amount of dollars. It's perfectly fine because you're both sitting on the same side of the table as buyers. It only becomes restricted or prohibited if you're on the opposite side of the table of those disqualified persons. So I know it's a mouthful, but just, again, you don't have to be the expert. Again, I work with Advanta. So whenever you're ready to do an investment or you need a refresher or you have questions and want to talk through your scenario, you're always welcome to give us a call. But the few rules to be mindful of is prohibited investments, prohibited transactions.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about working with a professional such as yourself, Reneika. So, Ms. Lightbourne, what should I look for if I decide, hey, I'm ready to get started with an IRA? I don't know anything about it, but I do know that I need a professional. How should I be looking for someone to be my IRA expert? What makes someone like you better than someone else? What are some of the things that we should be looking for when we think about our professionals in the IRA space helping us with this important aspect of our retirement?
I would say you can, start with your circle of influence. Like if you have somebody in in your sphere who's actively investing, if they're familiar with it, if they're working with a self-directed IRA custodian, and maybe they want to refer you based on their experience, that's one way. Or if you're connected or plug into a real estate group, having conversations to see who they're using. But if this is, again, completely brand new, maybe you saw something popped up on YouTube, you want to do your due diligence, you want to Google search, you want to, go to the company's website, you want to see what their reviews are, you want to call and probe and ask certain questions, just to kind of get familiar with or comfortable with and just see. I tell So my part of my story with Advanta is I'm an employee, yes, but I'm also an Advanta IRA client prior to joining. So self-direction is something I personally do. And I had the same questions most of your audience probably will when they're, starting that search, meaning, hey, you want to look underneath the hood, you want to ask questions, you want to see who other people are using. Like, I'm part of a real estate group. I asked around, like, hey, who you guys recommend or use for self-direction, or custodian wise, and then just going to the website, seeing the content, seeing the reviews, and just reaching out and just, inquiring. So do your due diligence. You want to just build up a rapport. The beauty with us is we're not the biggest in the industry, we're not the smallest. Our focus is that concierge style service. So meaning all of our clients have a dedicated account manager once they become a client with us. So they have a direct point of contact, someone who's going to be with them for the life of their account. So you're not, even though again, self-direction is you're in control, but you're not, you don't feel like, you're alone. You have somebody who you can reach out to if you have additional questions. We don't give you tax, legal, investment advice, but we provide you information to make sure that you have the ability to make an informed decision about whatever investment you decide to do.
Mm. Now, I found that women have always got some unique perspectives or experiences, whether it's in their career, whether it is angst or just dealing with money and how we feel confident about dealing with money decisions sometimes. So I want to just ask you, in your opinion, in your history, what are some of the things that women should be thinking about when they really start to go into building their retirement accounts, when they think about what they should be, what angles they should be looking at? Are there any perspectives that you want to just help our women listeners to bring out or to think about when you think about this topic today?
Yeah, as a woman and someone who actively invests and work very closely with other women group, just being around like-minded women who are actively, doing what you're looking to do or doing what you're doing in terms of investing or having those conversations, or, even with your husband or your, the male figures in your life, having those conversations, not being afraid to talk money, talk finance, because again, building wealth is a team effort, but also too, it's very individual, it's very personal. So just knowledge, educating yourself, but also applying that knowledge, applying those resources. As women, we're empowered to, take control of the finances, take control of our finances, or, our family finances. And I would just say, just getting connected with different women groups who advocate and, like Mocha Money Mondays, who knowledge share about the things and the opportunities you can do. I'm part of an investment group, and it's just us, it's for women, and we meet regularly, we talk about different opportunities. Sometimes we win some, sometimes we lose some, but just actively, you got to roll up your sleeve. The only way to get in the game is to be in the game. So I would just say, if you have an interest in it, just get involved, and you'll find your niche. You'll find, people who advocate for you or kind of set you up on the right path.
Absolutely. I know there are no limit to resources that are out there,
Yeah.
particularly for women of color in this particular season. So thank you for sharing that.
You're certainly welcome.
Miss Lightbourne, let me ask you, beyond real estate, what are some of the other things that are, interesting to you? Some of the things in 2025 that excite you when you think about how to leverage your IRA in other spaces and some of the other alternative investments that can potentially generate cash flow?
Yeah, so self-directing, yes, most of our clients invest in real estate, which is, pretty much fine. It's the bread and butter, but you have a blank canvas when it comes to IRA investing. In addition to real estate, you can do private lending, but you can also invest in the likes of oil and gas, so mineral rights. You can invest in, private companies. You can invest in other people's, ideas, like if you wanted to, you can invest in precious metals as a great way to hedge. Obviously, with cash flow, um, those funds is flowing back into the retirement account as well. Another, I'm personally passionate about, it's very new. I'm not advocating to go out and do it, but cryptocurrency, digital asset, that's something I'm personally passionate about. The barrier to entry is, a lot less for someone who's looking to buy a house, but you still have to do your due diligence. There's a lot of volatility, but that's an opportunity that we're going to see some growth in 2025 and beyond. But outside of life insurance and collectibles, you get to be as creative as you want to and need to when it comes to investing. It's there's so many things. I can't even name all of them. Well, I can't name them all in terms of what you can invest in. So if you have a personal interest in investing in, a startup company, you can do that. You can invest in notes and mortgages, like it's near limitless.
Mm. So we actually have some opportunities here in our Mocha Money Monday network. We have our Phenomenal Hughes Global Network, where we are building an amazing group of women who are going to be able to invest in each other's. We're really working on what we call building a new investor class of these phenomenal women, women who are super intelligent. A lot of us have been working in corporate America for years, and we have really gotten a lot of experience in, being able to analyze things, being able to see when opportunities are around and really taking the chance and taking advantage of those opportunities when we see them. And one of those types of opportunities is right here in my neck of the woods, Stonecrest, where we're investing in the redevelopment of the Stonecrest Mall. And it's a note, and I'm curious, in our setup with this project that we're doing, are these the types of projects where when we put together a note for a corporation such as Privy, can people invest in their use their IRA to invest in these types of group crowdfunding projects, these notes, and all of the things that people are really doing when it comes to crowdfunding? Is that an opportunity to use our self-directed IRA?
Absolutely. Note investing, especially, well, first of all, I want to say I love that, what you're building with your team and, having, so many professional women who most of us have money sitting in retirement accounts, sitting idle from an old job or an existing IRA. I think when I looked at the stats, there is about $42 trillion as of December of last year that's sitting in retirement accounts. And less than 4% of it is truly self-directed. So absolutely you can, for you as an investment provider, you can leverage, tap into your existing network. You have those professional women who have old 401ks or IRAs that have money just sitting or some money that they can actively participate in your deals. So yes, you can absolutely use IRA funds to raise capital, to fund deals. If someone's working a 9 to 5, they don't have the time or the bandwidth to go out and find the opportunity, but you have it, they're comfortable. It's the terms between the investor and also the investment provider. As long as you guys agree on the terms, you can use those funds.
Mm. Well, I just think this has been super duper informative today, Reneika Lightbourne. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is there anything else that you just want to kind of, leave on the table before we drop the mic for our audience? Something that you just want to, have that last word, that burning tip, that piece of advice that you want to leave with our listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. First, again, I want to say, well, not first, but thank you so much again for having me here, come in and knowledge share with your group. And just with closing, just know that with Dr. King, he dreamed of a world where opportunity and empowerment was, which should be available for all. And a self-directed IRA give you the ability to carry his dream forward, meaning you have the ability to take control of your financial future, build generational wealth, but also creating a legacy that not just uplifts ourselves, but also our communities. You talked about, the revitalization of the Stonecrest opportunity that you guys are investing in. So just leveraging your resources that you have, and a self-directed IRA is a powerful tool to help you do that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Again, Miss Lightbourne, how can people connect with you? Are you a part of our Phenomenal Hughes Global Network?
Not yet, but I'm working with Donetta to come in person and possibly do some more educating with your group.
Awesome.
So to get in contact with me, just go to advantaira.com, ADVANTAIRA.com. It's a wealth of knowledge. We've been in business for 22 plus years now. Self-direction is, we're the experts, certified IRA service professionals. You can always, once you go to our website, you'll have my contact information, phone number, email. You can always reach out to me to do a consultation.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for being a guest on Mocha Money Mondays. As usual, we are here thanks to our friends at Wilson's Financial Group. And if you want to be a part of the epicenter of phenomenal women, you need to go to phenomenalhughes.com and join us each and every Monday at 8:30 for our Mocha Money Monday podcast. You can listen to all of our episodes right on YouTube, and come on to the show if you have something that you want to share with our group of phenomenal women. They are anxious to hear how you can help them get to the bag. Thanks for tuning in to another Mocha Money Monday. I'm Ashley Scott, and we'll see you next week. Peace. Welcome to the Phenomenal Hughes community. Are you ready to become a bankable CEO? Well, join us on the pathway to prosperity. I'm Ashley Scott, your host of Mocha Money Monday.